And now we go to the colorful imagery in this movie. Now, I'll tell you that the imagery in the movie is quite colorful. Even the second dimension has some bright colors to it. However, as I mentioned before, the Vanessa verse just seems more threatening. It just throws itself out at you. And how is that proof that RedJoey's version is better? Well, let's think about it for a second. Dictatorship. What do you think it is? They take control of a state by force. And what do you think happens when someone obtains dictatorship? Well, let's see. The people are treated like slaves. Okay, check. The town could possibly be in ruins. Okay, that's 2. That's all I know. So based on that, Vanessa was pretty much a better antagonist, because she technically destroyed all of Danville. Well, part of it, the suburban part, where not Phineas and Ferb lived. We'll get to that in the story. But anyway, I kinda do like the imagery in the RedJoey version a lot more, but maybe the imagery in the original film might have been a bit more colorful. So yeah, I guess by default, I guess technically, the original film wins it. No contest. Considering this is a musical series, we might as well look at music. In my opinion, I kinda like the original better. Big surprise. Because they had some very good songs. From Everything's Better with Carrie, to Kicking It Up a Notch, to the song I mentioned earlier. So why did RedJoey have to change the lyrics and make them less fun? Yeah, you're kinda wrong on that. He didn't change the lyrics. He just changed the songs to more originals. And he did pick some famous singers. Brad Paisley and Grace Potter. Doesn't that make you feel better? Yeah, actually it does. Oh, and by the way, they do keep some songs in there. For example, Summer Where Did We Begin? That's kept, but it's more of the full version from the album than it is the one we heard in the film. Brand New Reality is still there, but it has different dimensions. We'll get to it later. And remember the DVD I mentioned earlier? Yeah, in the deleted scenes, there's a song called Mysterious Force. And that song is added into the mix. Yeah, actually I'm kinda curious. I heard the song, but I never saw it in the film. It was probably time constraints. But anyway, I kinda like RedJoey's version because, well, think about it. When you're reading lyrics what's the first thing that popped in your mind? Your own music. You can just sing the songs yourself. Maybe you can even cover them yourself. I can understand that most people prefer listening to songs rather than just reading a made-up one, but I kinda like reading a song a lot better. I should know. I read a lot of made-up musicals and had to think up a tune for a song that's made up. So, all in all, I'd go with the more obvious choice and pick RedJoey for this version. And now for the final round, the story. Hold on. Isn't Phineas and Ferb also comedy? What about humor? We'll cover that in this round. Now there are a lot of changes that happened in Phineas and Ferb across Second Dimension RedJoey's version. And I'd like to at least list some of the changes that happened. Anyway, in the beginning, it's not really that big a deal. In RedJoey's version, it does start out with the childhood of Phineas and Ferb and how they got married. And an add-in bonus, they have us be introduced to Isabella when she was young. Personally, I didn't find that necessary at all. I mean, it's focusing on Phineas and Ferb. In your version, this version is different. Anyway, another slight change is that in the original, the invention they made for the anniversary was a platypult for badminton. But Perry had that little plan in the new version, where he had a picture of a plane and inspired Phineas to make a platyplane. I thought it was kind of necessary to make the change. It sort of made sense. Next, there was the invention that Doofenshmirtz made. It was an other dimensionator in the original, but it was a dimensional poolinator in RedJoey's version. I guess a portal does make sense, but the other dimensionator opens portals for Kate's sake. Beats me why they had to change it. Then when we go to the little dimension that we keep constantly mentioning, we can point out one thing. Remember how Phineas and Ferb were just suburban kids, and they didn't join the Resistance, or family, if you want to read RedJoey. Anyway, they didn't join the Resistance until near the end. But in RedJoey's version, they're already a part of the family. The character that they met in that suburban city was basically an original character that was made by him, named Amanda. And yeah, it did technically stay on the theme of her not being able to join the family until near the end. Now, the Boozum thing, I don't know if they kept or not, but I'm getting ahead of myself on that. Meanwhile, in the first dimension, there is a subplot of the family, Phineas and Ferb family, picking up the grandparents, and fast forwarding, we have the fight with the Animalborgs, played to a song sung by not just Love Handle, but the Betties from another episode. I guess it was necessary, I guess. I read. And in the ending, it wasn't an Amnesionator that did it, it was the Read My Mindinator. Well, how does that work? Because Doofenshmirtz did say that he never made that. He would remember something like that. I would guess it was callback from Andrew Mang in the first many fan-made episodes where he does make an Amnesionator. But, again, getting ahead of myself. And yeah, that's just a few changes that have happened, as opposed to what we saw. Oh, and by the way, they do keep the infamous romance scene before the mind wipe, so I hope that at least makes you happy. Yeah, I guess it does. At least he did manage to keep some elements of the original. Kind of the point. Anyway, while the story was complex in the RedJoey version, I must say I kinda did in fact like the movie a lot more. It's technically the better of the bunch. I enjoyed it, and if it wasn't for that movie, I wouldn't have read the RedJoey version. So, as a gold medal, I am going to go ahead and give the point to Disney. So, looks like they're tied. What does that mean? It means they're equally good. So, for those who haven't seen this movie, but you're a big-time Phineas and Ferb fan, I'd recommend watching it. But those of you who did watch it, and thought it would have been better, I'd slightly recommend RedJoey's version. They're both equally good, and they have their own rights. Right. So now what? I'll go ahead and put advertisement for other things that RedJoey has recently made. Because, let me tell you, he's not done. Now, there are other things that he's making that I would like to honorably mention. First off, he's making one story where Isabella is tired of Phineas's annoying ignorance and turns evil and whatever. This is the only picture I have seen, and technically I would have gotten more, but that story is in the process of making when he's ready. The other is a story featuring his other OC, Rachel Reagan Flynn, and friends. And yeah, I kinda do like this character. She is much more behind from Creepy's Olivia Flynn, but is in the lead with Mari Flynn.
Really, I kinda like her.
That's your opinion, mister. Anyway, if you do like that version of Phineas and Ferb Across Second Dimension, I'd highly recommend you read his other things. And listen to everything he has to say. Well, that's all I have for today. See you later, Fanny.
Well, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching this very special Old vs. New, and, well, I guess I'm going back to piano. Bye.